the distinction between PLRI and PMRI is on several bases. First, a critical component is the coronoid fracture itself, if there is a coronoid fracture present in PLRI, for example. So PLRI generally involve tip fractures. Tip fractures are horizontal or downsloping laterally. There's often, in fact, usually an associated fracture of the radial head, and the elbow, if it has had terrible triad type injury, the elbow has dislocated. These are the tip fractures, different from anteromedial fractures. Anteromedial fractures are due to a posteromedial rotatory instability mechanism, and they involve fracturing of the anteromedial facet that extends into the sublime tubercle. Very important. And there are a few features about this, and one that I want to point out on this particular illustration right here, because it's one that often gets missed, is that the anteromedial fracturing has a concave pattern to it. So if you see something that looks like it's convex, we're not talking about the same thing. That's a very important distinction. And these are categorized into subtypes 1, 2, and 3 as well. Often the radial head is intact and the elbow is not usually dislocated, although it can have dislocated. The subtypes are as follows. The subtype 1 involves just the anteromedial facet. Subtype 2 involves the facet and the tip. Subtype 3 involves the tip, the anteromedial facet, and the whole sublime tubercle, whereas the others only involve part of the sublime tubercle. And these are increasing degrees of severity. Now, there are three things that you need to look for, and you need a CT scan to be definitive in most of these cases. The first is that the fracture slopes down medially. The second is that it comes out in the anterior aspect of the sublime tubercle, and that's best seen on this medial view of the CT scan. And the third is that when you take away the humerus and look into the coronoid, you see this concave pattern in the anteromedial facet that was created by the medial trochlea punching into that bone and compacting it or impacting it or shearing it off, in essence. So three specific features, very, very important. And in many cases, you must have this view to be definitive in stating whether it is an anteromedial facet fracture from PMRI, or it happens to be a tip fracture from PLRI with associated extension over medially.